Hello Aquarius, welcome to my channel, Love It or More. I'm keeping things nice and simple this month with a Celtic cross for the Sun, Moon and Rising of Aquarius for July 2022. Please note that it is general reading, so take what resonates, leave the rest behind, and I hope you find this helpful. Nice deep breath in and exhale. Okay, Aquarius, let us see what July has in store for you. Okay, currently the Hermit crossed by the Hangman. Oh, good Lord, you poor thing. What is above you? Queen of Cups. What's beneath you? Five of Wands, yes. Recent past, Knight of Wands. Immediate future, Two of Swords. Oh, good Lord. Okay. Attitude, Eight of Swords. Environment, Ace of Swords. That's good. Seeing a bit of light now, finally. Hopes and fears, Nine of Swords. And the outcome, Knight of Swords. Okay, Aquarius. Right. Now we've got a lot of your energy coming up here in July. Swords galore. It really just feels to me like of all the zodiac signs, the thing that hits them the hardest is the thing that's really kind of hitting them the hardest this month of July so far. It's like your swords energy, so everything's kind of really kind of air, really intellect, really thoughts. Not just in Taurus, and that was all really to do with kind of the physical, the pentacles, the earth, the feeling of sense of security, what, you know, your house is naturally ruled by. We will clarify, but I can tell you for sure, Aquarius, you have a bit of a tricky month ahead. You are really caught up in the headspace a bit too much, I would say. We've got your current energy as a Hermit, which is a really positive card, all about introspection, soul searching, really looking at where do I move from here. Now the Hermit card always reminds me of that analogy, I think it was from The Secret, you know, the book and the video, the movie, where you're driving at night and the headlights only show you the immediate future. You can't, it's not daylight, so you can't see the whole road in front of you. So if the road were to suddenly turn or stop or widen or narrow, you wouldn't see it. You can only see what's directly in front of you. And it's kind of reminding me a bit like that. So to be in that energy now is quite good, because it's trying to prevent you from going too far ahead, projecting too far ahead, and trying to remain as much as you can in the present moment to really go within. Okay, but we do have it clarified by the Hanged Man, so that being your obstacle. And the obstacle in this respect would be that even though you're wanting to kind of do that real finding out for you, what is your purpose, what is your sense of beingness, where do your energies are where they're really drawn to? Is it the heart space? Is it the head space? Is it work? Is it health? Is it a family member? Is it health wise? You know, so it's like, and what's happening over here is because it's an obstacle, it feels like you kind of, I'm feeling really like this, even though he suspended himself deliberately, you know, to gain enlightenment, I feel like he feels a bit stuck to me. So it feels like there's a bit of a loop thing going on over here with the Hermit. It's like they're trying to do the introspection but feeling stuck. And the reason I keep thinking of stuck is because there's 9 of Swords, there's 2 of Swords, there's 8 of Swords. Yo, okay, we will clarify, don't worry. So consciously, the thing that's really you're kind of consciously aware of at the moment is this Queen of Cups energy, which is a really lovely energy. So this feels very kind of nurturing, very healing, very loving, very kind of cleansing energy. And that's either the energy that you are embracing, but it feels very kind of motherly, it feels very kind of healing, and it's also so it could be that you're dealing with a parental figure. Remember, this gender is non-specific, or it could be that you are feeling those sort of parental feelings yourself within you, and it could even be both, but we will clarify. So that's where your kind of your headspace, your conscious thoughts are really kind of revolving around this month of July. And that's like the conscious thing that you're making. It feels so weird because it's like deep beneath is a 5 of Wands. So basically the 5 of Wands talks about kind of conflict, internal conflict, gossip, competition. One person saying one thing, the other person saying another thing, and people just not seeing eye to eye. And it's so many different perspectives that you feel a bit lost. So in a way, basically, in a way it's good, and in a way it's not so good. In the way that it's good, what this tells me is that even though all this conflict is brewing up subconsciously for you, brewing up deep within inside, the beauty of this is that you're really trying to do the very kind of maternal thing of cleansing, healing, focusing in the heart space, focusing in your emotions. And I just feel so much cleansing, doing the things. So even though this is brewing, I feel like you are deliberately trying to change the frequency for yourself, which is really, really positive. On the flip side of the coin, or should I say the double-edged sword, because we've got so many swords here, is that inside you're screaming. Inside you're going nuts, okay? And you haven't quite, it's like you haven't quite had enough time with the Hermit to really pull that out and really kind of address it and purge it, because you need because perhaps it's a bit scary. So some of you might be kind of aware of it, and you just kind of like brushing it to one side and doing all the things that you can do to really kind of keep your positivity up and keep things ticking over and keeping all happy and everything. But this fire inside, this screaming inside it's got to go somewhere. Okay, so that's the only thing I'll say about that. In so the recent past, we've got the Knight of Wands here. So this is just you kind of spending a lot of time trying to kind of keep all plates spinning in the air. You've been working hard, you've been putting all your energy into things. I'm feeling quite a little bit tired as well. You've been working hard, okay, because Knight of Wands is just that kind of action orientation. It could even be that you're dealing with someone at work who may be a little bit immature, but we will clarify. Immediate future, we got the Two of Swords. So again, we've got this sort of stuck in a rut, this hangman energy kind of spills into your future with this not knowing which way to go. I mean, it's actually kind of beautiful because the Two of Swords, she's standing on the shore and the waves are behind her, okay? And she's covered up. She's almost got herself entangled in her drapes over here, to the degree where it's covering and blinding her foresight. And she's got these two swords. So if she's not careful, she could cut herself, okay? But they're just draped around her. They're just entangled because she's just basically swam out from the sea. So you know, if you were to drape yourself with loads of fabrics, have a swim in the ocean and try and walk out afterwards, you'd be all sort of tangled. I feel like this word tangled, entanglement, it feels very kind of, that's the thing that where you're feeling a bit sort of stuck. You don't know which way to go. You can't see clearly. Okay. your attitude about it is that you, with the Eight of Swords, attitude is that like you feel like everyone's, you can't turn any which way. You're trapped in a situation. You're imprisoned, and I mean, it looks pretty dangerous as well. You know, all of these swords right by her neck, and she cannot move, because if she moves a little bit this way, she could cut herself. She could move a little bit the other way, but she is also blindfolded. So we've got two blindfolds here in your reading for July. And if you look very closely, she could actually just step back, because all the swords are actually in front, like around her, but to the front of her body. The back of her, there's no swords. So if she were to lift her head, take the blindfold off, and literally step back, she would get herself out of a rut. She'd get herself out of that position. So there's something about stepping back that I think is going to be very important for you in July. How can you step back from a situation? Perhaps it's something that where you do things on a day-to-day, and instead of doing what you ordinarily do, you, especially if you're the kind of person who is maternal, or you are the person that makes things happen with the Knight of Wands, because you know that person makes things happen, it gets cracking. Maybe it's some advice in this situation would be to literally step back from all your obligations and duties, and just observe how other people respond, and how other people deal with it. So when you step yourself out or back from the situation and do nothing, what unfolds then? That could hopefully be illuminating for you. Ace of Swords is that illumination coming to light with the environment. So it could be that your environment needs to change, and you're seeing something in a whole brand new way, maybe a good way, maybe a bad way, we don't know. But something is definitely becoming very clear cut, and this is like the truth serum. Okay, you're going to see something in a whole new way, and it's to do with your environment. Okay, now a lot of people like to use that expression of we are a product of your environment, and I don't quite like that expression, because you can always, I like the idea of choosing your environment. You know, you don't have to always go on default. You can make that choice of what environment you want to be in, but definitely the kinds of people and energies and places that you surround yourself with, those are your environments. Okay, so there's definitely something coming to light with regards to your environment. And then the hopes and fears is that whatever you decide to do, it's the fear is obviously that you're going to get caught up in the headspace, and you're going to be worried about what the future outcome will be. Or I don't see how this could be a dream though. Nine of Swords. On the dream side of it, it will be that it comes to an end, because the nines talk about endings. So the dream is that this worry and this anxiety that you've had for so long is coming to an end. Okay, you've reached the ending of it. It's a 9, and maybe there's a little bit of work to do to bring it to the 10, to sort of overdone and dusted. Okay, so the dream is for that to end, the worry, the anxiety, this indecision to end. The fear here is that it won't end. Okay, that will continue to carry on. Now, the one thing I'm definitely being drawn to say right this moment is that everything changes. That's it's the fact of life. Nothing ever stays the same. You can experience a similar vibration in very, very different situations, of course. But when you reach an end, you're kind of finished. You're done with that aspect. You're done with that particular vibration. So what I will say is that things, even though they might not seem like they're moving, it always moves. There's always motion. There's always, even when you think that things are very stagnant, there's always things happening beneath the surface, you know. I mean, if you think about stagnant pools, if you think like a puddle, or in swampland, it all looks kind of stagnant and crusted and dirty and smelly and all of that sort of stuff. But it breathes room, it breathes life for so many insects to flourish and really kind of feel secure and safe in that stagnancy. Basically, that's where they flourish, and then they can fly off when they're ready. So perhaps you've just been in the swamp for enough time to kind of really kind of build your wings so you can fly out, All right. And then we've got the Knight of Swords as your outcome. So I do feel like you're going to get some news coming forward, some communication that's coming forward, that it feels like it's a bit of a game changer for you. So we're going to clarify. Oh, I'm almost getting a headache. This. Okay, I'm not ready. Okay, the Hermit, please. Well, that would have worked because it was none of wands that jumped up. The Hermit, the Ace of Swords. So you really are, so the card that jumped up and I stuck it back in again was that 9 of Wands, which talks about being a wounded warrior. And when I put that back in and then I asked for another card, it's the Ace of Swords. We've got the Ace of Swords twice now. So really kind of the Hermit is feeling like you are wounded and you don't know where, you don't feel like you've got the reserves to continue to move forward, but you are doing the Hermit to really gain that inner light, that awareness, that enlightenment, and where you feel crowned, where you feel kind of moved forward. And see, illumination, information, illumination, transparency, all of those things. It's truth. It's like truth is coming to light in a whole new way for you. And that truth is enlightenment. And with that, you can gain wisdom. All right. That seems very cryptic, but that's all I'm getting for that one. So, Hanged Man, please. So, something is coming to light. You're also delving deep into your own inner truth. Well, I said that earlier, didn't I? Yeah. Four of Swords here. So, the Hanged Man, this feeling of maybe being a bit stagnant or this sort of held up energy, it could literally manifest into some sort of I hate to say this, but it does feel like the thing that's standing in the way of you kind of getting any further momentum is perhaps some sort of kind of headaches or some sort of healing that needs to take place. But this does feel like it's sort of stopping in your tracks. It's becoming a bit of a distraction from your Hermit energy, because it is clarifying the Hanged Man with the Hermit as an obstacle. Okay, so where you're trying to really do your internal work to figure out what really kind of moves you, what you'll feel your sense of purpose is, the thing that steps in your way is that actually, oh God, you catch a cold, or you feel like I don't know why, but headaches. Oh yeah, because I'm getting a headache just doing this reading with all the sword energy, all these swords like jarring. It's like it feels like knives in my head. So perhaps that's why I'm saying headache there. But perhaps you are also receiving headaches with all of this. But I do, because if you go round and round and round in circles in your head, and you could get so tangled up, and so you do need a bit of a rest. And so I would say that even if you do fall ill, I don't see it long term. It would just be like a few days. I see it as a blessing, because a blessing is basically allowing you to just give your brain a break, you know, because I think if there's too much going on in the headspace here, it's too much. Okay. Queen of Cups, please. Knight of Cups. Interesting. So this is about so your conscious energy is what I was talking about before, about how you are nurturing yourself, nurturing others. Okay, or perhaps it could even be a parental figure or a guardian who has really got that loving, cleansing, healing energy. I really like this because it comes with the Knight of Cups. So it could be that for some of you, you are having an offer of love from someone who is a bit younger than you, because a knight is younger than the queen. That could have been the thing that's kind of making you feel a bit undecided and a bit kind of caught up in the headspace of being a bit stuck there. So for some of you, you are receiving that and you're sort of kind of working with that energy. For others of you, it's you kind of, because we've got the kind of court cards, so it's you kind of really working with that cleansing energy, and as you're doing so, it's allowing you to move more with the hearts. And again, I really like that, because particularly if there's screaming going on inside inside your body, and you're not releasing that, you're finding ways to transmute it into a very healing state so that you can move more with love, because the Knight of Cups moves with the heart space, okay? Perhaps a little bit sometimes idealistic, but why not? Why can't we be idealistic? Why can't we dream for bigger and better things? Particularly because you know, the sky is our limit. Whether that's we are master manifestors, we are creators of our destinies, of our choosing. All of these things is a choice, and so when you move with them with a heart space, it is coming from a pure intention, not a kind of a erratic thought projection, because that tends to kind of overcomplicate things and overanalyze, analysis paralysis. But doing that, so the things that you are doing and trying to focus on by moving with the heart space, or about perhaps giving an offering, if you were to be that Knight of Cups towards that parental figure, that is something that's really in your headspace at the moment, in your conscious actions at the moment. Five of Wands, please. Six of Cups. Okay, so there's definitely something's brewing up from the past. Nothing more to say about that. There's something that might even come to light with that Ace of Swords for you, particularly in July. But there's something from the past. It feels like there's subconsciously there's something niggling at you, something kind of that you just need to release. That's why I said, like, you're kind of screaming inside. There's all this conflict inside that's just kind of, there's this fight going on inside, and something to do with the past, okay? It needs to come out. It needs to be released. Perhaps your environment will present to you something that perhaps you saw it in the wrong way. Maybe that's what the Ace of Swords is all about. But it does feel like whatever this feeling is, it's something to do with the past. It could be a past love. It could be something to do with your childhood that's sort of coming up to the surface. It could be to do with your children, but it's definitely something from the past. And when I say past, like, we're talking real past, not like, you know, last week or last month or last year. It's like it's ingrained in there, and it's been bubbling up beneath the surface, but it's not in your conscious mind yet. And perhaps, and those are the things that's kind of like, it's infiltrating your mind, but you don't know that it's coming from there, if that makes sense. Knight of Wands, please. Ten of Wands. Okay, well, it feels like you, so in the past you were working really hard. As I said before, working on projects, you kind of keep, and I felt quite tired with that. And it's just to kind of, you're very close to the end of that tournament, I want to say. Huh? Why tournament? You're very close to the, I'm just going to say it. You're very close to the end of that tournament. So he's carrying all of these logs. He's walking towards the village, and he's just got to carry those logs to the end of the village. But the whole journey he's been on, he's had to go off into nature. He's had to cut all those wands from trees. He had to shave them down and carry them through the forest. So he's been on the whole journey, and now he's at the 10, meaning the goal is in sight. So he's just got that final burden to carry. So it's definitely all the hard work that you've been done, particularly if you've been working towards a particular project. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel now. You can see things making, you can start to see the product of your hard work, okay? And then you can have a bit of a breather. Tournament. Bizarre. Two of Swords, please. I wonder what other definitions are of tournament. Two of Swords. Queen of Cups again. Okay, so you're undecided about what to do for a parental figure or as a parental figure. It's pretty clear. It is definitely connected to what, can we go for another one? Thank you. Three of Pentacles. So this is a case of being a little bit undecided. What do you do? do you, because your headspace at the moment is about how you cleanse yourself for the future, how perhaps how to move with love, how to be a parent, or how to help a parent, but really working with the space of the love. And the Two of Swords of that indecision is, what do I do? Do I continue to do that? Or do I work with others? Okay. And it feels like you might need to work with others. This is bizarre though, because the energy I'm getting with this is like, it's like, do I go off on my own, or do I go back on something? Okay. Or do I carry on as I'm doing now, or do I make a move to go and help support someone? It's kind of that sort of energy. Can we get anything else, please? What else for the Two of Swords? Make more clear, please. It's something to do with, thank you, Page of Swords, Strength, and the Chariot. So yeah, it's, you may need to venture off somewhere. So you might be receiving news, and you may need to venture off, and it's like either supporting someone or supporting yourself within it. I feel like what would happen is that if you were to support somebody else, that would actually be supporting you, even though you need to be focused on yourself with healing and love. Page of Swords is news coming on, communication, strength. Well, you would need strength, right, to do that. And the Chariot is fast action forward, maybe even on a vehicle. So it could be that there's a situation where you don't know whether to go back on something, go back to something. And it could be also connected to this bit of, I don't know why I want to call it screaming from the past. Perhaps that's the thing that's going to get you out of it. So perhaps, oh God, this is deep. Okay, I'm just going to say it. It could be that this conflict that you've been experiencing is rooted in childhood to a degree, and unable to move forward with love and healing from your end, you may need to heal the wounds, go back to the past, so heal the wounds with a parental figure so that you can be a better parent if you are a parent, or to go towards a parent and just sort of make sense of it, to transmute this scream. Okay. Still got that headache. For others of you, yeah, you may feel the need to go towards a guardian, a parent, someone you're very close to who you love, and you may need to help them out. Let's just put it that way. Work with them on getting something sorted, because of this news that has come in, and it's gonna require quite a lot of strength and determination and kind of willpower and grit. I'm getting the word grit. And then you're charging forward with it. I do feel like you're charging forward with it. Okay. Eight of Swords, please. I mean, really. Eight of Swords, clarify about the Eight of Swords. I mean, okay. So, yeah, no more kind of, can't read any more into that, can we? You're trapped, you feel trapped, you're imprisoned, you're self-sabotage. It's all in the headspace. You have your blinkers on. Okay, step out, step back from the situation, look at it with clean eyes. Eight of Swords. I'm sorry, I'm sounding really, really harsh, but I don't know if any of you listening to this have got a headache at the moment, but it's piercing. And so that's making me a little bit snappy. But also it's like, where's the advice here? Where's the advice? I mean, we know what the advice is, step back and, you know, take the blindfolds off, but it's easier said than done, you know. Sometimes we feel trapped, we can't see a way out. That's why we feel trapped. So can you give us any more, Spirit? What else? Because that's your attitude at the moment. So, yes, Three of Swords. Okay, so, sorry, that way. You're trapped in sadness. The feeling imprisoned is making you sad, but what's keeping you imprisoned is a sadness. So it's like there's something from the past that needs to be healed, that needs to be addressed here, because feeling trapped is making you sad, but it's something from the past that was sad that caused you to become trapped. And I think you need to do a lot of digging to find out what that was, if this isn't completely, immediately obvious to you. But this is heartbreak. This is a hole in the heart. This is heartbreaking. Okay. So many swords, Aquarius. Your Ace of Swords, please. Thank you. Oh, nice. Finally we get some good swords. Some Six of Swords. Six of Swords is moving on to calmer waters. So you're going to have a moment of truth with that Ace of Swords. So you're going to start to kind of feel it, or start to do the work in it with the Hermit, you know, trying to seek your inner truth. And then you're going to kind of get like bamboozled by this perhaps a cold or something, headaches, maybe it's too much, or something that sort of steps in your way, which kind of causes a bit of a delay on it. But then with your environment here, it's starting to become blatantly clear, and as it becomes clear, now you know what it is you need to do. So it sort of softens your headspace. You can start to move into calmer waters, because now you got it, you understand, you see it properly. I don't think you're going to see it immediately in the beginning of the month. I feel like this is more the intention stage that you're at, but your environment moving on to calmer waters, there could even be some sort of departure there. I mean, we've got the Chariot card here and the Six. We've got moving with the vehicle, moving over water. So perhaps there is a shift in your environment that causes you to gain a little bit more clarity and calmer headspace. Nine of Swords, can we clarify? Thank you. Five of Swords. Again, a sword. Aquarius, I mean, come on. Nine of Swords. So the Five of Wands is kind of like the winning at all costs. Okay, so with it being your dreams and your fears, on one side, the dream is to end that anxiety, that worry, that concern, okay? The fear is that what if other people, what if you have to say goodbye to other people? You see how they're just walking away. What if it feels too selfish to do so? What if it feels too like you're just winning at all costs? What if I don't see it clearly? What if I'm kind of just going? So it's like the dream is to just stop the anxiety, to stop the kind of this thing going over and over and over and over and over and over and over in your head. Stop it and just make a cut and move on, right? Just cut the situation, cut it. But then there's a worry of like, well, will it really be cut? Or is that really the right thing to do? Or what about the people who I'm cutting from, or the things that I'm cutting from? What if it's a short win, you know? So very tricky. And the Knight of Swords, please. Okay, we'll take all of those things. We got the Hierophant, Knight of Swords again. Knight of Swords, clarify with the Knight of Swords. Here we go again. And the Magician. Oh, this is nice. Well, it seems to me that some sort of organization, and this does definitely feel like an organization, you're getting some sort of news coming forward from an organization, perhaps even an invitation to work for an organization. The Knight of Swords is about kind of working with communications. So it could be communications technology, it could be kind of writing lots of emails, it could be writing a book even, but it feels like it's within an organization. So either this is an offering from an organization you're already connected with, or a new organization, but it's something that is going to require you to it feels like some sort of work and something that you're manifesting. So it feels like you're getting the news in almost like some night. You're on the receiving end of some communication from some sort of organization for you to do some more communication, if that makes sense at all. So it does feel like it's slightly work orientated, but it also feels organization. It could even be a governmental body, you know, it's huge. So it's either a company you work for, or it's a different company, or it's some sort of legal system, although we don't have the justice card there, but it's some sort of hierarchical kind of organization that's kind of like set up with a few individuals. And there's some sort of invitation there to join in and to do some work. Okay, and we got the Magician card. So I feel like this is very, very powerful for you because you've actually manifested this. It feels to me like we've got this racing energy here as well. It feels to me like this is the thing that's going to maybe help you move out of this situation here. It's going to set you on a different path out of this feeling of being trapped. So just, oh wow, I've dropped all those cards on the floor. Hold on, I will get a different deck. Why not? I never use this deck, but I'm going to use this deck for just some advice from Spirit. This is Rebecca Campbell's Starseed, the Starseed Oracle. Okay, so I mean, you may not resonate or be familiar with what a starseed is. Starseeds generally are like considered the first incarnation on Earth, but if we think about it, we're all starseeds because we all come from dust. We all come from stardust. So we all come from the stars. So let us get a starseed oracle card for you. Okay, what does Aquarius need to know? For July. Thank you. Oh, surrender to the sweetness. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. Look at that. So this is absolutely this Queen of Cups energy and this Knight of Cups energy that you're working with. So I would say, even though there's a lot of turmoil in the mind, the conscious efforts that you're making with working with healing, working with cleansing, working with the space, the heart space, keep doing that, okay? And perhaps there's a surrendering that needs to happen. Oh, such a beautiful card. Look at that. Look at that. Oh. Perhaps there is a surrendering, and perhaps this is what I was talking about stepping back, step out of the situation to just observe how other people react rather than kind of doing what you would ordinarily do. And this is even like on a day-to-day level. But surrender to the sweetness, and maybe there's a way to kind of just surrender the fight within yourself and within others and just kind of stop for a moment and just take it all in. Maybe then you'll be kind of stopping the barriers, because I feel like all the sword energy is actually loads of resistance. It's like this wall of swords in front of you, this wall of resistance. And maybe you're stopping the things that really want to naturally gravitate towards you. So perhaps if you surrender to sweetness, if you try and just kind of go, well, you know, I know I'm supposed to be doing that, but this feels nice because it's joyful, so I'm going to do that instead. Okay, start to really change up your vibrations in that way. I think it might be helpful for you. So that's all I got for you, Aquarius. I hope it helped. Good luck for July, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.